Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us today for our webinar, which is featuring the wonderful app, which is A2X, which helps us to integrate straight from e-commerce based selling sites through into Xero and QuickBooks. As you hopefully all know, my name's Dan, Managing Director here at Riverview. Pleased to be joined by my colleague Robbie, who, if there are questions that come up, have a look in the, I say drop them in the chat box. Robbie will be keeping an eye on that. And also, if there's questions that come up post-webinar or post-viewing this video, once we put it online, Robbie will be your man to talk to. So we will share Robbie's details after the webinar, so you've got those. Also pleased to be joined by Elspeth from A2X, who will be leading our demo today. We'll be going through the key features, how it can help your processes really, take away a lot of the manual tasks that can come from a very high volume transaction businesses that we see within the e-commerce sort of sector. So we'll great to see what the benefits of that are. So I'm going to step away, I'm going to hand this over to Robbie, and we'll take the webinar from there.
Yeah, cheers, Dan. Yeah, as Dan said, yeah, we are continuing our app of the month that we are looking at to help all you guys out there with simplifying everything, saving time on bookkeeping, saving time, manual processes, everything like that. And as Dan said, this month, we are concentrating on e-commerce, and we have partnered with A2X, fantastic piece of software, and Elspeth today is going to show us it. It's gonna be a nice little demo, show the key features of everything, so give you the taste of what it is. So then obviously we can get in contact in the future, and then you can speak to us about getting some demos and stuff. So yeah, over to you, Elspeth.
All right, thank you. Thanks so much for having us today, Dan and Robbie. We're really grateful for the opportunity to just share a little bit about A2X with your team and your customers. And so what we're going to do today is I've set up quite a straightforward Amazon to Xero demo to show you. There's various different iterations you can use of A2X depending on what your particular scenario is, but hopefully we'll cover a few bases today. And if there's questions at the end, then feel free to ask. I'm going to share my screen now so that you can see A2X with me. Can everyone see that okay? Thumbs up, yeah?
Yeah, all good.
All good, yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay, great. So bit of a background on A2X really quick. A2X was started by a big Amazon seller who quickly realized that the accounting side was quite complicated, as many sellers do, developed a spreadsheet solution, and then developed more of a software solution, which was A2X. It quickly became clear that it had a wider appeal in the e-commerce seller community, and so A2X was born as its own product. And then in the last few years, we've worked really hard to recognize the fact that most of our e-commerce sellers, they aren't just selling on one platform, they're selling on more than one. And so we've added our integrations, and we now cover Amazon, eBay for the new eBay managed payouts, Shopify, Etsy, and Walmart for our US customers. We integrate with 3 accounting packages. Today, I'm going to show you Xero. And we also offer manual integrations if you have a different type of accounting software that you're using. So generally, we can make it work for you. Now, the goal of A2X is to automate accurate e-commerce accounting. That's what we're about. We're about speeding up the process, but keeping and maintaining that accuracy that you need to make sure that you have good numbers, you can make good business decisions, and you also have, accurate VAT if you've got that in the mix, or US sales tax if that's an issue for you. So I know that you're probably very familiar. If we go over look at Xero, we can see we've got a multi-currency scenario here. We've got an e-commerce seller with multiple different e-commerce platforms feeding into one Xero account in multi-currency. And we can see obviously here, if we go and look at the business bank account for the UK, we'll see that we're getting these Amazon deposits in from amazon.co.uk at the moment. Now, we know that number, this is the challenge for e-commerce businesses, is that we know that this number is a net deposit. We know that this number, we don't have a full breakdown. We don't get that on the bank feed. It can be made up of all different types of transactions, sales, holds, reserve balances, shipping fees, advertising fees if it's Amazon, just a wide array of transaction types. And so the challenge is for an e-commerce seller is to get those numbers into your accounting system accurately. And that's what A2X does for you. This just allows you to make better decisions. It also helps with things like tax compliance, and especially on the reporting side. I'm going to show you some of that in a few minutes so that you can see how we can do some quite clever reporting for you, just to help you make good business decisions, really. Now, when you first set up an A2X account, it looks a little bit like this. Step one is normally to connect to your e-commerce platform here. Very easy process, usually takes a minute or two, just usually a case of logging in this case to Amazon Seller Central. The second step is always to connect to your accounting system. Again, your accountant can do this or you can do it yourself. You'll both have access to this account normally. And again, it's just a case of logging in, and then we've got a live connection to your accounting system, which gives us all of your accounts, your chart of accounts, and your tax rates. Once you've got those two connections sorted, you'll see data start to flow in on your account. You'll see it come in and it will mirror what you see in the e-commerce platform. Down here, we do a few summaries on your kind of monthly net payments, monthly orders. That helps us just determine which plan you're on, and also sometimes can be helpful for other reasons, that information. On this account, you can see this is an Amazon EU region account, and so it's pulling in all of the Amazon EU regions at the moment. You'll see that the date range will always mirror the Amazon settlement. So if you were to look in Amazon Seller Central, you'd see a settlement with that exact date range, and that's what we're tying back to in the accounts. So at the moment, we're going to look at amazon.co.uk. But we can also see that we've got other marketplaces there filtering through. We'll pick up everything from the EU region on one EU connection normally. So with these, you get some status indicators, taxes and accounts. Normally, if it's blue, it means it's set up, and if it's red, it means it hasn't been completed yet. So in this case, you can see that some of these have been sent, some of them haven't. If you float over a sent button, it'll tell you which date you last sent it to the accounting system. Normally, when you've got these coming through, you can review them quite easily if you want to drill down into more in depth on what each of these settlements is. So we do a couple of things to just try and clean up the accounting side. One of those is if we have a split settlement, super common on Amazon, not so common on Shopify, quite common on eBay as well. Then what we want to do is we want to put the sales and the fees in the correct month so that you can close the month out and get the numbers in the right places in the books, especially for the VAT returns, things like that. So normally what you'll see us do if you hit review is you'll see us split the period into two invoices. So you'll get one for each month. And again, that saves a lot on manual processing time, having to manually split that data. On this review page, you can always drill down into which transactions are going to be sent through to the accounting system. And you can also download the raw data. When we post the accounting system, we always attach that raw data. You'll see it in Xero attached to the invoices that we send across, or in QuickBooks, you'll see it attached as well. And the point of that is that you can always tie it back to an order number if you want to. If you ever get, an audit or something like that, you've got that raw data in the accounting system if you ever need it. Oftentimes you don't, but it's there if you do. So I'm going to show you an example of posting something through to Xero and matching it to the bank. So the one I picked earlier on was the 9th of May to the 23rd of May, which is this one here. So we know this is the amount that will have hit the bank account in Xero. And we can always review it here by going to this page. It's only created one invoice in this case because we know it's all inside of the May period. We can see what's going to be sent across and the mix of different types of transactions. I'm going to explain a bit more about transaction types in a couple of minutes, but when you're happy with this setup, you can send it to Xero. I sent it across a little bit earlier on, and it normally comes through as a draft invoice. We do have a new feature we can enable, which sends it across as a pre-approved invoice. But on this account, I've just shown you the simple setup at the moment. So you can see here, this is two draft invoices from different platforms coming through from A2X. And if we open it, we can have a little look at this. We've got all kinds of different transaction types here. I'm going to show you where we map those after this, but we'll just approve this. And then if we go across the bank feed, we know that we've got that amount that hit the bank. And so we'll just go and find it. We know this was a UK settlement, so it's most likely in our bank account. If we scroll down, there we go. So Xero's already figured out that's a match to that amount that arrived from Amazon. We can click OK. That's the end of that settlement period reconciliation. That's now fully in the books, and you've done that final step of matching it back to the bank account. Okay, so a couple of things we like to show you. We do like to show you a little bit on our settings side, just because it helps you understand that there's a few different options and customizations that you can use. Just to accommodate your particular scenario, we try and provide a lot of good support on this, so that, you know, if you've got particular things you need, like you want to split revenue by a particular product type, or you've got maybe slightly more complex VAT requirements, we do have a whole suite of functionality that can help with that. If we go over to settings, we can see that you can name your accounts here in account. This is really handy. Say you've got 3 eBay stores, a Shopify store and an Amazon store, then you can give them all different names and then access them a bit like Xero. Just toggle between all your different accounts up here on the right. We've got various automation features that we can enable. So once you're really happy with your setup, you can enable auto posting of settlements. Those will just ping across every time we get one, they'll just ping across to Xero for you. You can enable auto posting of our cost of goods sold, which we'll speak about in just a minute. And you can also enable your payouts to be sent over to Xero as approved. Normally, we recommend just get your setup the way you want it before you switch these on. But once you're happy with your setup, you can enable these. Product type grouping, another really handy feature, particularly if you want to split your revenue by product type for, you know, there's various reasons people might want to do that. On the invoicing side, there's, again, customizations you can do. You can use our really standard setup, which is just to group all sales, but we can also do other types of grouping. And we have various other settings that you can enable here to help with your VAT reporting. We also allow you to apply tracking codes, which I'm going to show you in a minute in Xero. This can be really nice if you've got multiple e-commerce platforms. It can give you some really good reports. We do allow you to fetch history. If you need to do a big catch up, you can do, you know, depending on your subscription level, we can fetch really far back on the account. We could fetch 2 or 3 years back if it's there on that particular e-commerce platform if you need it. Again, I'm just skimming through these quickly to show you, but these are our connections. This is just where we manage our connections to the e-commerce platform and to the accounting system. And you can do various refreshes there to help if you need to do that at any time. We have a cost of goods sold feature that's really useful for a lot of sellers. Some sellers will have their own inventory management system and they won't necessarily want to use this, in which case we can disable it here. But if you want to use it, it gives you a nice calculation. It will reduce your inventory asset account by the actual cost of goods sold. If anybody's interested in that, we can send some more information. We do have some inventory information and reporting, especially on Amazon. So if you want to explore some of those options, if that'll help you with your month end, you can. Down here in users, we just manage our users. Normally our accountants and customers share access to their accounts, so they can both see what's going on in A2X. And you can, if you're the admin user on the account, you can invite people into the account here if you want them to be able to see it. Billing, very straightforward. This is just where you manage your subscription. And if you're the admin user, you'll have access to this section. This one here, register country, super important if you're selling in the EU. We've got a whole suite of VAT functionality that we can enable. So various types of scenario that we see, you might be a UK seller just selling in the UK, only VAT registered in the UK. That's no problem at all. We've just put United Kingdom in this box here, and we would start to split your transactions out for you. We normally would split them sales to UK, sales to the EU, and sales to rest of world. But if you have more complex VAT needs, we can assist with that too. We've got sellers that use that have maybe a UK VAT return alongside a one-stop shop return for Shopify, for example. And that's all things we can accommodate. Always talk to us because we've usually seen it before and we can help setting it up in the initial phase if you need that. So the other place it's good to look at is the accounts and taxes page. This is kind of where we map all of our transactions and how we're going to send them through to Xero. You can see here, for example, basically it's split a whole Amazon settlement into all the different transaction categories that you would see. So you can see we've covered everything from Amazon advertising, all of the FBA fees, lending if you've got an Amazon loan, sales, refunds, promotions. We track reimbursements. You know, oftentimes Amazon will send you some money if they damage some of your stock in the warehouse, and that will come in a separate place on your profit and loss report. And we also importantly track reserve balances. That's a really big thing for e-commerce. They're often withholding a certain amount and carrying it forward into the next period. And we track that on your balance sheet for you. Now, with all of these, you can use our set of default accounts, which we create in the chart of accounts for you, but you don't have to use those if you don't want to. If you've got your own account, for example, for Amazon sales that you're already happy with, you can just select it here in the drop-down box and use that instead. That's totally fine. Usually every one of these sections can be expanded by clicking on the orange cross, and this allows you to fine tune your transactions. For example, if you've got product type groupings or particular tax jurisdictions that you want to split out, you can always drill down there. We've got quite a lot of good guidance on setting this page up, especially if you're in a EU customer, and we can always forward those if you need that. Now, one thing just to flag up is our help center. We try really hard to provide really excellent support, and we've got just a whole base of articles that we've built up over quite a few years now. So if you've got a question, you can quite often find it in this knowledge base. But if you can't find the answer to your question, then we have 24-hour chat support. It really is 24 hours because we have customers all over the world. So you can normally get an answer here quite quickly. If it's a more complex question, they might let you know that they're forwarding it to one of the technical team. But again, we try and respond really quickly. Even at the weekends, we've got cover. So if you ever get stuck, you know, you can come down into the chat box and ask a question. All right, so I wanted to show you a couple of things in Xero that are quite nice. If you've got multiple, for example, if you've got multiple e-commerce platforms that you're using, what we do in A2X is we allow you to apply tracking categories, or in other, like QuickBooks, you can apply a class. That can be really nice if you want to do some fine tuning on your reporting. If you want to, for example, see a P&L just for one e-commerce platform, then you can apply these tracking categories in our settings, and it will then, every time it pushes data through to the accounting system, it will apply that tracking category, which you can later use. So this is just a little example that we have on this account. You can see at the moment that we've got a mix of different types of sales. We've got Shopify and Amazon in this one. But if we're to go here and we have an e-commerce tracking category, and say I was to select Amazon UK and update, I'll just change to my last financial year. I have to clear that out now. Let's see if we do a little refresh. There we go. And let's see if we can flip this to last year. Let's see if we can do a filter. There we go. So we can just isolate it to Amazon now. And that can be really handy if you just want to isolate the numbers to one Shopify store or to one Amazon region and compare between different regions. And you can use those tracking categories in other places in Xero as well. And yeah, so there's quite a few things like that you can do if you want to get some different types of reporting coming out of our data. Okay, so I think I've covered most of the main features of A2X at the moment. This is Amazon, but obviously we've got I've got a Shopify one feeding into that Xero account at the same time that you can maybe see on those draft invoices. Basically, our main goal is to give you really accurate speedy reconciliations back to those amounts that hit the bank account. And that is the goal of it is, as Dan spoke about earlier on, is just to streamline the processes so that lots of hours aren't being spent on manual processing, but you're able to just ping it through, match it to the bank, settlement reconciled. So that's really what we're all about. And we're also really just happy to answer questions, always happy to support as much as we can during the setup phase. And if you have any ongoing questions as you go along. So if there are any questions that we can help with, please let us know, because we'd be really happy to speak about those now.
That's perfect. Thank you so much for going through that. That's really, really useful. I guess one of the questions that often comes up, and I think where there's massive benefit in terms of using A2X, is around the VAT. So I think that's the bit where, when I speak with clients, when I've spoken with prospective clients, that VAT reporting, especially when you've got multiple revenues, is really key. So that mapping, you say that that's some defaults or settings within A2X, with some assistance as well from either ourselves or you to tweak anything. Is that correct?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can say, for example, they're just in the UK. And they have maybe a UK VAT registration and a standard VAT scheme, then we would go to these settings and we would add the UK as a registered country. And what that does is it starts to split the transactions by sales to UK, sales to EU, sales to rest of world. And then that allows you to identify any sales that you need to zero rate because they've gone outside the EU. Yeah. We also, for Amazon, Amazon's done a brilliant job since the new EU VAT package came in, of splitting out transactions where they collect and remit the VAT. So we actually isolate those transactions as well. So you can then isolate those from your VAT return, so you're not paying VAT twice on those particular transactions, which is quite useful.
Excellent. And I think also, from a benefit point of view, the reporting that comes out of it, like, we're again big advocates for the detail that actually what you get out of your numbers. It's one thing, as you say, seeing that transaction hit your bank or knowing what's sat in your Amazon accounts and things like that, but actually seeing that breakdown of where you might be able to make tweaks to how you're selling, what you're pricing, and so on. Again, that seemed a really, really key feature within the software.
Yeah, it's very good. Shopify as well. We have a Shopify finance summary, which is super helpful if you're selling on Shopify, because it allows you to do direct comparisons with Shopify. And that's something we always recommend if you're, particularly if you're doing, lots of different product types. Maybe you've got a mix of rates, different tax rates on different product types, that kind of thing. Yeah. You'll see that reflected and mirrored in A2X.
Excellent. And it's probably the $1 million question, because of it. It's something that we've seen anyway, in terms of like an increase of activity for where people are selling via these platforms, maybe as a result of off the back of COVID and people finding different ways of doing stuff or different income streams. I assume the product continually develops to sort of with the volume of people that are now sort of using these platforms.
Absolutely. We had a quiet week back at the beginning of the March 2020, and then it just took off. So many people took the time to just reassess what they were doing business-wise. Yeah. Many people decided to move online, and we've really mirrored that in terms of just adding integrations and also growing our team, just to be able to support, just a growing number of customers. We've got sellers that have gone from selling in a garage, in their garage, to running, multi-million pound businesses. So yeah, it's exciting. It's been really exciting to watch.
Cool. And is there any plans in terms of, obviously you said you've extended out the integrations and stuff that's happened? There's obviously still some manual, there's some manual options, isn't there, if it doesn't connect fully? Is there anything sort of in the pipeline that people need to be aware of?
Yes, we've got another one in the pipeline that we're beta testing at the moment, another integration. So kind of watch this space on that one. We're doing a lot of updates to our user interface. So we're adding, more user-friendly features. We're actually adding some magic buttons that are going to give you default accounts if you have quite simple scenarios. So we're going to add a magic button if you're just UK VAT registered.
We like magic buttons.
Yeah,
good,
so we're quite excited about that. And yeah, so we've got a few things on the go, and we do try and keep up to date. So we'll send you emails, once you're subscribed, we'd send you some email updates, and sometimes we'll ask you if you want to participate in a beta testing round.
Yeah.
If it's something that seems relevant to your particular account.
Excellent. Cool. Have you got anything else to add, Robbie?
No, just as you said earlier, when people want to get involved, contact me. We can set with me and Elspeth. We can get you set up, so you don't have to worry about you manually have to do it all. We can go through it all, make sure that you are aware where everything goes, everything's set up in the background, and then obviously you have the confidence that when you go through it all, it's all set up ready for you to go. And you're not worrying about, oh, where does this go? Where does that go? We've been through this all and set up for you. And then obviously, if you do have any further questions, once you're set up, we're both here for you.
Cool. Okay. Well, again, I just want to echo again, Elspeth, thank you very much for your time today to show us this. This is great. I say, obviously, we'll get the recording up online. And as Robbie said, reach out to Robbie if you've got any questions. So we'll leave you all to a nice sunny day. I hope it's sunny wherever you're watching this, because if it's very nice where I am, but we'd like to be outside rather than in the office, I'll be honest. So yeah, we'll leave you to that. So thank you again, and we'll speak soon. Cheers.
Thank you.
Bye.